Hello and welcome. My name is Will Carrier, and today I will be breaking down the audio implementation techniques that I used for my project Protagonist, a third-person virtual experience built using Unreal 5 and Wwise. My goal for the player's movement sounds were for them to be grounded and realistic. To achieve this, I recorded loopable assets at two different intensities for players' walking and running animations, with multiple layers, including a leather and nylon layer, a backpack layer, and a jingle. I then brought them into a blend container in Wwise, where I set up a crossfade for the cloth sounds between the walking and running speeds. This RTPC is driven by the character's velocity. In Unreal, I posted the event on the third-person character blueprint and got the maximum value of the character's XY velocity. This variable is used as the input value for the RTPC. I also used a line trace and some Boolean logic to prevent the sound from playing while the character is jumping. I also challenged myself to create realistic indoor and outdoor ambiences for multiple environments. I made use of the AK Acoustic portals and AK spatial audio volumes to achieve this in this train environment. I used my own field recordings and unique reverbs to create platform and below-grade ambiences. The acoustic portals allowed for simple diffusion and transmission between these environments. This is the below-ground ambience. And as we travel upstairs, it expands into the above-ground ambience. To create unique opening and closing sounds for this fence door, I set switches in Wwise using the enumerator status, either opened or closed. Then, upon player interaction, the fence door event is posted. I constructed a spline along the shore of the beach environment. This moves the audio emitter along the length of the spline component. The shoreline event is posted to the AK shoreline component that is attached to the spline. Looping the custom move audio event allows the AK shoreline component to be updated with the closest location along the spline to the character's location. In Wwise, I created attenuation curves for the volume and low-pass filter properties to create the effect of distance as the player moves away from the shoreline. To create footstep switches, I had to use surface types, physical materials, and then assign these to the surfaces. On the character blueprint, I use a line trace to determine the surface type underneath the character, which sets a switch in Wwise. I then use sync groups and markers to determine at what frame in the animation the footstep, jump, and land events should be posted. To further increase player immersion, I created splashing sounds for when the character enters the water. I used an RTPC and a blend container to achieve this effect. In the character blueprint, I get the player's Z-axis location to determine their depth. This drives the RTPC in the blend container. I began creating this interactive piano by writing this melody in Reaper. After finalizing the melody, I chopped it up into individual notes. I exported these files and imported them into a sequence container in Wwise. I put these in a playlist and then applied a very dramatic reverb to simulate the large hall. Thanks to an interface in the piano actor blueprint, the character is able to interact with this object. The sequence container plays one note at a time and resets at the end of the playlist. Some of the environments throughout Protagonist, especially this alleyway, required very dense placement of various 3D emitters. My goal with these emitters placement was to ensure that the player was receiving accurate audio feedback in their environment. I created custom attenuation settings for each of these events. This ensured that the environment remained dynamic without ever sounding too dense. Let's take a listen. Thanks so much for your attention, and I look forward to hearing from you. Please contact me through my website.